Today I'm talking about 3 game-changing innovations which are changing the world for hair system wearers. Real improvements that are making hair systems more natural, more comfortable, and able to fit into any lifestyle. And yes, regular gym goers, that includes you. So if you're new to hair systems, or if you've been wearing them for years and you're looking for a bit more realism, a bit more comfort, this video is literally designed for you. And make sure that you stick around till the end because I've got some exclusive discounts just for you. Now let's start with the first innovation, low density hair systems. Now you might be thinking, I've come across, 70% systems, 60% systems. And yes, you'd be right, you have. However, those ones are designed for elderly people who naturally shed with age. These are designed for basically any age, but it's to give you a more natural appearance rather than risk having a hair system which is too dense, at least in the early phase. And anyone who's a hair system wearer will know exactly what I'm talking about. Even when you get a 95% density, 100%, 105, at least in those first few days or few weeks, it can really look quite bulky. It can look quite dense. The number of messages I get from people saying, I only ordered a 95%, but it just feels too thick. Well, that's why these specific hair systems have been developed. Now, this isn't completely new. They are based off previous designs, but simply with a more natural density. So to give you an example as well of what I mean of sort of almost like too dense, you'll come across, maybe if you shop through LaVivid, you'll come across the Achilles system. That's 130% density. The Coius, 115% density. These are really quite thick. They need to shed quite a bit before they start looking natural. So what LaVivid have done is they've listened to their customers and they've basically redesigned their current bases, but with lower densities so that the system itself looks natural from the outset. So one of the systems I've got here is the Eros. The Eros is a really great hybrid system. This is one that I recommend a lot to basically first timers, beginners, because it's very forgiving, it's quite robust, but it's also very, very comfortable to wear. So it's really great if you're sort of just starting out. I know a lot of experienced wearers use this system as well. Now, normally it comes in a 95% density. However, this is an 80 to an 85% density. And you can immediately tell just by looking at the crown, it's already thinner than what you'd see with a normal Eros, and that's how you can tell the density is lighter. Now, not much has really changed in other facets of the actual system, but you can notice at the front, so with previous Eros that are sort of like a 95%, it can look a little bit dense at the front, and LaVivid have actually picked up on that and they've listened to feedback from their customers, so it's basically also lighter at the front. Nothing else has changed, nothing else is needed to change, but it just looks more natural when you first have it fitted. None of that floofiness, none of that bulkiness, none of that wiggy look. And it's not just the Eros that they've repurposed. Yes, you can still get it at the original density, but this is their offering in terms of the light density options, or which they call their ultra natural density. They also offer it in the Coius, they offer it in the Eros, which I'll show you in a sec, the Mars, the Sanders. So a lot of your actual favorites are now available in lower densities. Now this is the Eros, this is the thinnest ultra thin skin you can get. It is very delicate. You wouldn't expect it to last more than sort of 1 to 2 months, but it's lighter than the original and it immediately feels lighter. And it also, because sometimes with poly, you can get that floofiness basically as a result of hair coming out of the poly. You don't really get that anywhere near as much with these lighter densities. Now we're going to have a look at their ultra natural density page now. So if we go and just scroll down, this is a really, really cool video. I watched this earlier and it just shows how much more breathable the thinner density systems are. So we'll just press play on this. As you can see there, when they did that test, it's just way more breathable. And if you're going absolutely mental in the gym, obviously your head is going to be hot, it's going to be steaming, and you're wearing something like a lace base or at least a hybrid where it's breathable through the middle, you're going to get a lot more steam sort of coming through. So it will just look a lot more natural, as you can see here. This is a great system, by the way. And if these systems are something that you might be considering, especially the ultra natural density range, don't forget to use my discount code Adam15 that I've negotiated with LaVivid just for you guys. You can use that discount code as many times as you like. And if you're unsure about the lighter densities at the moment, wait out for a period of time and you'll see me wearing these so you can get an idea of how they look on someone. I'm really excited to get these cut in and try them out in real life. Now let's move on to innovation 2, and that is antibacterial bases. Now you may have heard me talk about these before, but they're really taking off. Why? Because people are getting on really well with them. As someone who has sensitive skin, this was a real game changer for me. Now these bases are treated with an antibacterial and antifungal agent. You don't get nasty sort of build-up of bacteria which can cause your hair system and your scalp to smell, especially between cleanup and rebonds. I've also found in my experience it allows for a longer bond, and at times I was wearing it for the full 2 weeks without it even coming loose at all. Now one caveat I would like to add with this particular innovation is that at least initially for the first 48 hours of putting on an antibacterial system, it did feel quite uncomfortable, it did feel quite itchy, and I'm wondering if it was because my skin wasn't used to having an antibacterial agent on it. Think about it like this: if you've ever had a skin wound and they encourage you to put an antibacterial cream on it, it can feel a little bit uncomfortable initially. I think that's because the skin or the brain sends signals to the skin being like, this is a foreign agent, it feels quite unusual, but then after about 48 hours, it felt totally normal. I wasn't getting any itching, the bond was better, I didn't get that unpleasant smell, or at least not the same level of unpleasant smell between clean and rebonds. And to be honest, it's just good for your scalp health. I mean, if you're putting on an antibacterial, antifungal agent onto your scalp to reduce the amount of bacteria living on your scalp, that can only be a good thing. Now, if you'd like to look into antibacterial bases more, the ones that I wear are called Zeomic by LaVivid. Basically, they are infused with antibacterial agents, antifungal agents, and there's plenty of bases that you can choose from. And this library, this catalog has really grown over the last year. I seem to remember there are only about 3 different bases available using this antibacterial Zeomic base, but now there's 6 of them. So you've got the Mirage, very popular, ultra thin skin base. You've got the Helios, which is the Swiss lace, so you can get the Zeomic, the ZeoGuard antibacterial base with lace as well. And you might just want to have a look at this page yourself. I'll leave the link in the description box below. You can see the science behind it. They've demoed it, but they've also actually got a third party to assess how effective that base is in reducing bacterial and fungal buildup, if you're more scientifically minded like me. But yeah, it's definitely worth sort of having a look at this if you're still quite unsure. If you've got sensitive skin, if you've got an itchy scalp, if you get redness, this might be the kind of base that you're looking for. And innovation 3 is one that I'm really excited about because it's designed for people who are active, who sweat a lot, who maybe go to the sauna, go to the gym, maybe they're runners. It contains advanced anti-sweat technology. It's produced by Pro Hair Labs, who also produce Ghost Bond, and it's called No Sweat. And I want you to think about this as if it's an antiperspirant for your scalp. Now we know that if we sweat a lot, that can break down a bond, it can break down adhesive, it can break down tape, it can make it super gunky. If you're using a product like No Sweat, it massively minimizes the amount of sweat that your scalp produces. Now another thing that I really like about this is it's very different to Scalp Protector in that Scalp Protector often comes in sort of quite a gloopy formula and it can be quite unpleasant to deal with. We spray it that way. Number 1, it smells amazing, but number 2, it's not gunky. It's literally just a very light liquid that you can spray onto your scalp before you apply the system. And another thing that it can be great for is if you're going to a hot climate on holiday, or if you just live in a hot climate, and the next holiday I go on, I'm also going to be taking this with me to apply before I do a rebond. Because not only have I found it effective in the gym where I'm sweating quite a lot, it can be super effective when you're in a hot place and naturally your scalp is perspiring like mad. I get mine from Scruffy Hair Co, which is the most trusted brand in the UK for all Pro Hair Labs and Walker Tape products. They're the official UK distributor. And if you'd like to try this yourself, they've given me an exclusive 10% discount that you can use, and it allows you to get not only a 10% discount, but also free shipping. You need to make sure you use that code though. You need to make sure you use the URL that is in the description box below. Delivery is super quick, usually within 2 days, and they usually ship the same day if you order before noon. Now, this is limited only to UK customers. However, for my US friends, you can buy No Sweat from ghostbond.com, a vendor that I trust myself because they are the producers of all Pro Hair Labs products. And I'll see if I can get a discount code just for you guys in future. So to conclude this video, which I've really enjoyed filming, 3 innovations which are really changing the game for hair systems in 2025 are first, the lighter density systems. So you can have the most natural looking system literally from day dot. No floofiness, no wiggy look. It just looks like it belongs on your head. And like it's coming out of your head for that matter. Innovation number 2 are antibacterial bases. They started about a year or so ago, but it's really taken off. It's been a real hit with a lot of wearers, especially guys who have slightly sensitive skin, maybe want a longer bond, or are just mindful about their scalp health. Those antibacterial bases are a real hit with those demographics. And lastly, innovations in hair system accessory technology, and no sweat has become a real favorite of mine. And it's great for if you go to the gym or if you sweat a lot, if you're a runner, if you're in a hot country, if you're on holiday and you're finding that the sweat is loosening your bond, get yourself some no sweat. It's designed exactly for you. And the whole idea behind it is to basically make hair systems accessible for as many people as possible. And that's what we want, because we've got a massive movement going here. I saw some research the other day that indicated that the hair system industry is going to double in the next 5 years in size. How exciting is that? It shows opinions are changing, attitudes are changing, people are changing, the media is changing. And if you want a perfect example of that, you might want to check out the video popping up on the screen right now, where I discuss an article on the BBC about a young man who lost all of his hair and got himself a hair system. Let me know in the comments box if you've tried any of these 3 innovations, or if you're planning on maybe trying them. In the description box below, I'd love to get a discussion started on this. It's something I'm super excited about. I'll speak to you next time, guys.